So, guess what? We have a brand new show for you. The Candor Paranormal Project podcast show. What? No way. However, engaging listeners, this is an excerpt as a behind the scenes of how the beginning started in the first place. So, we have our paranormal investigator, Tiffany Santizo. We have the paranormal podcast creator, Monique Perrin Machado. And we are here to bring you what you have been waiting for to hear. So this right here, we're like organically, like just going to just like lay it out there a little bit, give you a little taste, give you a little bit of intrigue. But this is the deal. You, engaging listeners, get the opportunity to experience spirit traveling listening service. It comes to you by being a part of our journey. When we go out in the field and we hear and we see, we can see. And you are going to hear what we have been privy to. The spirit world, the paranormal world. What is paranormal? What is paranormal? Paranormal is, what did they say?
Normal.
Yes, it is the one thing that cannot be explained.
Right.
It is the unexplainable.
It's not normal. It's paranormal.
Paranormal. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, guess what? You're going to go on a journey. You're going to go through this map experience of the paranormal world. It may be locally, it may be internationally, it may be nationally. We don't know where this journey is going to take us, but we're going to take you with us. How about that? So, paranormal investigator, co-host, creator. Let's talk. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with the engaging listeners with this journey? What do we think?
I have to thank the engaging listeners, honestly, for such great feedback on what we've done in the past. I just want to thank them because without them, this never would have even popped into our heads.
That's so
right?
true. That's never... so true.
So thank you guys for listening and having such great feedback on the episodes that we've done together in the past. But I'm excited for this because it's not going to be just a regular, sit here and talk about ghost stories like we've done in the past, right?
Right.
So we're actually going to go to these locations.
Yeah.
We're going to go and we're going to have these stories that people have told us, or we're going to have these legends or these lores, and
yes,
we're going to see for ourselves. We're going to see, is it real? Is there something going on behind this legend? And we're going to take you guys with us. We're going to do this. We're going to do these podcasts directly from the locations and bring you guys right along with us.
Fact finding, right? So
or debunking.
Or debunking.
Even better, right?
So
you're never going to be able to understand the paranormal if it's like most of the other shows, right? So most of the other shows have these editing where it makes it look like something else happened, where something is more than what it seems. And that's the complete opposite of what we're doing. I mean, if nothing happens, nothing happens.
Right.
It's simple as that.
Right.
But we're never going to understand the paranormal if we're faking things.
Correct.
So the whole direction in this is really trying to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's going to be 100% legit all the way through.
Correct. And then looking forward to incorporating other specialists and I think that's going to be exciting, and like you and I, we were going over like just the projects, the rundown of it. And that one thing that just like spoke out to you, that was just like, I saw your face. You were looking as to say, okay, that is something that I have been wanting to do for some time now. And when we went over, what was it? Oh yeah. It was that. It was the paranormal scope and the spirit world, and the fact that for things to be true and evident.
Yeah, that's probably one of
Can
my
you
biggest
expand a little bit on that, on how you feel passionate about that?
Yeah, I mean, my whole life, and for anybody who's listened in the past, they know that my passion has always been trying to understand the paranormal, right? And I've always had these experiences. I've always understood these, right? But I purposely make it a point to go to these haunted locations.
Okay.
Yeah. So anybody hasn't listened, and this is your first time, I personally make it a point. If I go to a new location, if I go to a new place, I like to do the ghost tours. I like to understand the history of places. And one of the things that has always been so important to me is there's always these legends. But I want to know where the legend started. I want to know if the legend was true, because how many times do we hear, oh, this is what happened, and later on down the road you find out that's not what happened.
Right.
That is completely made up. It started out as something so small. It's like a game telephone, right? And by the time, here it is 100 years later, and it's something completely different. And there really is no something so-and-so, right? It's completely different.
Yeah.
And really, we might be creating an animosity in this place, holding a spirit there that is like, that's not my story. What are you doing?
Holy cow. Holy cow. Holy cow.
So,
absolutely giving the spirit world a voice.
Yes.
To a degree.
And peace
to tell the truth.
Times, right?
At peace. You know what? So what we cannot dismiss. Now, before, from the other podcast show, which is, it's still great in its containment, but it's going to make sure it serves a total purpose of voices, anonymous voices. Well, these are not anonymous voices. These are two voices that have come together. That support was brought to, especially to our paranormal investigators' attention, that, oh my God, you guys need to do this. You just need to, And so what happened was, on Hallows Eve, we wanted to cover this Hallows Eve event. Oh my God, was it not? Oh my God, I had everything.
It
was
perfect.
I had lanterns. I had, you're like, oh my God, this is so
She
cool.
set it up perfect, everybody. I walked in to the studio, and there was lanterns, there was books, there was atmosphere. It was on point. I felt like I was walking into a haunted mansion. She had set the mood for my soul. That's what she did.
I wanted you to feel inspired.
I was.
Oh God.
It played out perfect, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was so funny because you were like, I'm sorry, I've got to take a picture of this and send this to my husband.
Because it was amazing. I was like, look at this. She came through. And she had sandwiches. Just to top it off, she finished off with sandwich. 2 ways to my heart, right? Halloween and a sandwich, right?
So, but we covered a lot. Oh my God, and it was magical, and we got so wrapped up. It went over an hour and a half. So I have the software where I had set the runtime for an hour and a half. We were at 93 minutes. And I'm like, what? And I got ready to upload. And I'm like, and you were gone. You had just left like maybe 25 minutes. I was going, I was shaking. It's like, oh my God, she's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. Like, oh my God. We could not recreate that if we wanted to.
No.
We could not recreate that.
I'm telling you, we had everything from cryptids to UFOs to ghosts. You name it. It was covered. It was the ultimate Halloween experience is what it was.
But the one thing that came out of it was this.
Right.
Because
it was at the very end too.
It was at the very end.
And I asked you, is there any way that our listeners would be able to respond to this and say, is there any place that they would like me to go out and like find more stories on it? And we could talk about it more often the next time I come on the thing. And we thought, it'd be kind of cool is if
And then
Maybe
we kept, and then we kept going. And then we were like, oh, well, this, and, sponsors and this can, and this can, we can make this happen. And then we talked about, remember about the legend of Sleepy Hollow, right?
Yes.
So when that came up, right, and going up to New York and then covering that, right? And we were like, what? And we were like, we need to go. And you're like, we need to go.
We need to do this.
We need to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're inviting us. They're asking us to come.
It said it right there on the website.
It did.
They said, come on down. I took that as Monique and Tiffany. I would like you to come. So please come and investigate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when that huge, like, oh my God, I can't believe we lost this. But we talked about how integral it is to understand that it is a real world.
Yeah.
It is not a fictitious world you heard it again.
Right. Did you hear it?
I'm talking so loud. I didn't hear it. Okay. Listen, engaging listeners. We are here in the studio. Now, the first time Tiffany came to speak with me, and we covered the first episode over paranormal from the other show. She felt kind of spooked out about the place. And I was wondering why she just kind of had that she was okay with me. She was like safe with me. But I mentioned something about like, I see something. I was just kidding. I was playing around. And you were like, do you really?
Yeah. So I was like, not going to say anything. I was like, and again, I really thought your podcast was about like, angels and stuff. And I was like, I was wrong.
Well, not really.
Well,
because we're
going
to cover all of that.
That's true.
Saints, angels.
Yeah.
All of them. All of them are part of,
like
I know what you meant.
Religious based. And I thought, okay, here I am coming in this little pagan. I have this. And I'm not about to sit there and say, do you see the ghost in the corner? Right?
God.
So I just kept my mouth shut. So when you said it, my heart dropped. I'm like, what? Behind me?
So anyway.
It scared me.
But listen. Okay, so she and I here, we're formulating, we're going to have this podcast show journey for you all. The launch times should be somewhere in the month of February. It is to be determined. Of course, this is not going to make any sense when you listen to this. You're like, okay, well, you already launched it because I'm listening to this. But there's a lot she and we have to cover. There's a lot that has to come together. There are a lot of things that has to happen. While we were doing this, I keep, she's sitting here, she's talking, and I hear this like, it's like this tap thing. And I thought it was my phone. I was like, what is going on with my phone? And I'm like, okay, I'm putting my phone over here. Okay. All right. Anyway, so we're hearing like this kind of tapping thing every so often, and we can't find it.
It's so weird.
Something is in this building.
Yeah, do you hear?
Something is in this freaking building.
100%. But
something's in this building because even just little movement, like you can hear something over there where the Cheerwine area. Something's in this building, but you said it.
I know.
And then it's getting dark outside. I'm like ready. Look, I'm ready to pack it up.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Oh my God.
Alone in a building. Near a lake. Come on.
So, but anywho, we are super excited to give you the Candor Paranormal Project podcast. It is a show beyond the show. So, it's not about some old boring stuff. We're not about the boring. This is an exciting time to be able to utilize your ears and listen and engage and imagine. And then, when you want to, let us know, hey, listen, I had this happen to me. I was talking to a guest a while back and I said, I have someone, a paranormal investigator, and she and I are actually creating the show and we're having the show. And he goes, oh, that's really cool. He goes, yeah. And immediately, every time you see something like that, people go, well, I had this happen to me.
Right.
And that's a first. They're like so happy that they can get off their chest to say,
Yeah.
okay.
Somebody that believes me. There's somebody that'll understand what I'm saying, right?
Somebody that will understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. What they say?
Well, so the person went on to said, well, yeah, I had an experience where I had a very close friend. It was my best friend. And he was like the best person in the world. He was charming and this and that and that and this. And this person was from Eastern Europe. So I think home is Poland or no, it's Prague over in Czech. And that's your bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, and he said that he had gone back because his father left him, property or whatever, and he was just trying to check it out. But at the same time, his friend passed away, and he wanted to, officially say his goodbyes because he wasn't able to go to his funeral or anything like that. And he was a childhood friend, but they kept in touch, and then he passed away like maybe 10 years ago or something like that. And he said he went to his grave and he just he said he was looking for his grave. So he went into the cemetery and he had they gave him the map, a point of where to find, the plot, the stone, the grave or whatever it was. Right. Exactly. So he had that and he said it was starting to get, it was dark. It was getting dark. But he had come all that way and time didn't allow for him to really be there, in broad daylight. So it was kind of dusky a little bit. And he said he couldn't find it. He couldn't find it. And he was getting upset because he was getting ready to turn around and leave. He literally could not find it. And he didn't know if they had moved it or what the situation was. And he got ready to turn around and something grabbed his shoulder, the back of his shoulder. Now, he wasn't with anybody, but he was in the cemetery and something had grabbed like his shoulder, like pressure, like literally taking you see how I'm taking my four fingers and palming here. And so it was that intense pressure on the shoulder to almost turn him around. And he turned and he saw no one. He looked down and there was his friend's headstone.
Oh.
He said he was pointing him, saying, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Wow.
And I was like, it's just give you a chills moment. It was like, whoa.
That's so wonderful, though.
I know.
And that kind of makes you that feeling of just still having your family and your loved ones around. It's like that reassurance.
Yeah,
makes me feel good.
Because if it were not real, the fact that what are the chances that he had something touch him? And then there was it was like it was inside the ground. So it didn't have a headstone, but it was like a plaque, So it was kind of hard to see because they're all mounted down, flushed into the ground. And it wasn't even that prominent because I don't think there was a lot of money. It was enough just to, bury him or whatever. But, people are just always going to want to share experiences like that. They've had things happen.
What's crazy is that actually, since the last time I saw you, I got sent out for work. I got sent to Manassas, Virginia.
Okay.
And we know about the two battles that took place in Manassas, Virginia, right?
Sure.
So when I first arrived, I was supposed to be opening one of our stores. And so that store hadn't been opened yet. So I was bored out of my mind, stuck in the hotel room, couldn't do anything. I was like, oh my gosh. So what do I do? What? So of course, I'm going to look at what can I do that's ghost related, right? And I look up and the next street over was actually where the battle happened, right? The two battles, right?
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm just going to go. And it's a giant park. I was like, let me go see.
Right.
So I get up and I drive down there and I walk in and I'll tell you, it was the weirdest feeling when I stepped onto, you can almost feel the vibration.
I was going to say, I was just getting ready to say that.
Mm-hmm. You could feel the vibrations. And I just walked and the visions of the soldiers coming down the hills and then looking out and just seeing how many people. And as I was walking, I was drawn to this one particular stone. And I don't know if you've ever been to a battlefields or
I have.
And you know how they have plaques for certain people.
Absolutely.
One of the first people, or maybe the first guy, I think it was, that got shot during the first battle. I think he was from Savannah, Georgia, right?
Oh, okay.
So Savannah, Georgia, I have a weird connection to Savannah, Georgia. I don't know what it is.
Really?
There was just something from the minute I stepped off that plane, there was just something I just loved about Savannah, Georgia.
Really? Okay.
No explanation for it.
Okay.
But when I got there, I looked and I turned around, I saw this beautiful plaque and I looked and I was like, oh, but I swear same thing happened. I felt somebody hand on the shoulder and I tell you, tears. I couldn't stop. I don't know what happened. It was like 3 seconds of just tears.
You see?
And then I like snapped out of it. And then I felt like I was almost being guided to each of the rest of the things. And it just enough for me to get.
Isn't that something?
And I went to the bridge and everything like that. You heard it again?
I heard it again.
That's crazy. But yeah, it was the same thing. It was that vibration. So as soon as I stepped foot on where that blood was drained, crazy vibrations. But yeah, it was that same thing, that 4 hands on the palm, almost like it was spinning around to can look and just get a panoramic view of this battlefield.
Wow.
And these homes and just everything that happened there, not once, but twice. And it was surreal to actually be there and to feel it. And just, there was so much energy. It's just
absolutely.
It was a cool feeling.
Absolutely, And, and I saw something very interesting too when researching and to interview these shamans and mediums that are going to come on board. One, she works strictly with a lot of schizophrenia patients, even bipolar. And she says in the world, not necessarily in the occult world, but in the hidden world of spirituality, spiritual medicine. She said they just see it differently. They know that these are people who are super sensitive to the supernatural world. And they're very vulnerable. They're not able to, they're saying, people are saying, okay, their voices and they're putting them on meds and things of that nature. But she actually has a way, a method of working with for them to understand that a lot of it is not so much about it's all in your head.
Yeah.
And it is so sad that a lot of, I could see that. I could see that where a person thinks that they're nuts, but they're just super sensitive to all of the paranormal energy. Honest to God, there are some people that are that sensitive to it.
And a lot of people are brushed off. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
It's crazy. And it's not crazy.
They
just don't know how to maneuver it yet. They don't know how to come to navigate those waters.
Correct.
Yeah. And there are some amazing people out there that are able to really help with that. I mean, I've had psychics that I've worked with. I'm me personally. I mean, I don't really talk too much about it, but I'm actually bipolar.
Okay.
I am one of those people that didn't understand what was happening to me.
Really?
And so luckily I had my mother who was I think she was crazy.
Okay.
But it was for different reasons. She also had a drinking problem. So it was a little bit self-medicated there.
Okay.
But I was a little bit more open to things. But as I got older and I kept seeing things, I really thought I was going crazy. But I've met so many wonderful psychics and mediums along the way that just reassured me it's not you also have something. You're actually seeing these things. So don't think it's just this. You're actually seeing these things. So maybe just stop and listen sometimes. And once they started helping me through that, it eased a lot of that burden for me. And unfortunately, there's some people that, one, don't believe it.
I know.
Or two, are told that it's the devil's work, right? The devil's coming in here and they're making you think these things. And that freaks people out too. And it puts them in a dark place.
Correct. See, this is huge. What we are doing, what we have been commissioned to do.
Yeah. And there's people out there, and like we were talking earlier, it's not just about, we'll go to some of these big places, right? Of course, we want to hit like Lydia's Bridge or Sleepy Hollow or these great places. Like I'd love to hit Lizzie Borden's house or something like that, right? Unfortunately.
Okay.
And so I would, there's going to be these other main places, but it's more so, like we were talking about. I saw something, a shadow person standing in my backyard, and I see it every night. Am I seeing this? I need somebody to help, and I would love to be those people that are able to help these people.
Correct. Correct. Okay. I mean, look,
navigate.
I was resting the other night, and I'm like, okay, I know I saw something. I could sit there and say to myself, oh, in my mind, you just got so much on your mind. And, whatever you envision in your mind, it was actually, casted a vision.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, who knows? But I get that kind of stuff all the time, and I'm not bothered by it. I'm not trying to make myself like, oh, just, don't believe it. I'm like, no, I saw it for a reason.
Right.
Just like we kept hearing something.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's funny. I mean, how many times have you and I been in here? We've been in here a lot of times. I've never heard that damn tapping. But as soon as we start talking about this program,
Yeah.
this one,
Yeah.
going on location and on a location,
Yes.
now we hear this.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right? That's weird to me.
Yes.
It's crazy. But I keep feeling like something's always there for us, right? There's always something backing us here, right? Whether
Correct.
it's, family, whether it's another spirit or
Yes. Yes.
there's
Yes.
definitely
Yes.
something around.
Absolutely. So, are you excited?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I hope it makes a difference. I hope it helps people. And I hope it lets people see things from a different perspective.
Because this is the thing. And I pray to God. I said, God, I'm like, this is like coming together. And I mean, is this something that is okay? Is this okay for me to do? Honestly, is it okay for me to do? I was super serious about it. And what I got back was, it is absolutely okay, because this is the time and this can be utilized to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay,
yeah.
Here we go. That is why you and I have made a commitment that we are commissioned to bringing the truth and the truth only.
Yes. Yeah. Nothing altered here. Just,
and I thought about that in the back. I was like, oh, we're going to have this show.
No.
What if we're out there and nothing happens? Like, no, I'm not comfortable with trying to make something happen. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not comfortable with that either. One, I'm not going to mess with the spirit world.
No.
For something that's not.
No.
If they don't let it be.
Because after they're not being recorded, they will come and get us after the recording.
I'm telling you.
And they will mess with you just because you want to play around. And then there it is. You can never get it recorded, and you'll be going out of your mind, going bonkers, stuff happening to you when you can't get it recorded.
Right. Right. It's not worth it. I mean, it's better to, know the history of the location and kind of work from that.
Sure. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And that's the thing.
Some things have been altered.
Right.
It has. History has been altered, and things have been altered. And I mean, if nothing happens, because maybe there was never anything there to begin with.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And who's to say that who was there when they thought something had happened, they were carrying something with them.
Right.
Carried with them.
Right.
It's no longer present where it was.
That was haunted, and that object is now gone, right? Yeah,
but I have a feeling we are going to really explore an incredible journey. When I mentioned this to my oldest, and she said, "Oh, Mom, you better be careful." So I don't know.
I tell my husband, he's like, "Here we go again."
I will need training. We will have multiple sessions on you training about
protection.
Protection and cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look forward to that as well. Well, here we go. We are committed to this show.
Yeah, I am super excited. I'm excited to
we've
see
got
where this
others
leads
that
us
are going to be a part of our, sponsorship and all of that. And so here we go.
We're going to take everybody with us.
Okay. Well, you know what? We've already gone into about 30 minutes of your listening time. And sorry we didn't have anything but this was just organically letting you know that we have created the show. We have officially created the show. Launching will be sometime between February and maybe the very first week of March. We look forward to you Hey, listening, go on the journey with us. Going to the website, make sure that you have your own engaging portal. And that is where you can put in requests, what you think, what you want, what bothers you, what you have shared with. You'll be a part of a forum and a paranormal community. So there are lots of things going on, lots of things to look forward to. Again, we want to thank you. Do we want to thank you together?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. All right. Engaging listeners. Again, the Candor Paranormal Project podcast show. Good night.
Good night.